everyone. Thanks for joining me on the mat today. We're going to work with a little soft opening today and work into some core work on our back. So I have a strap handy and a block. Remember, take care of yourself. Once you lose neutral spine or mountain spine and you're no longer breathing and it's become too much effort, it's time to take a break. Remember, that would mean coming into constructive rest, just knees into chest, whatever feels good for you. Remember, when we're strengthening the core, it's about working from your strong center, your strong neutral spine. So take your time here as you begin to lay down. Start to focus in on your connection to the floor. Feet to the floor with the knees bent. As you start to find a resting place for the head, where you feel nice and grounded, no strain in the neck. Is your chin level with your forehead. And then just take a few moments here, connecting your feet to the floor as you bring your hands to your belly. Find that little external rotation of the upper arms as you let the shoulder blades draw gently into the body, feeling nice and supported through the shoulder girdle. No tension in the neck. And just begin to notice as you rest your hands on your belly, can you feel the rise and the fall? Or is this an area you're holding on to tension? Bring awareness now to the belly. Can you breathe into that space? Just a gentle rise and the fall. Let your breath be your window to your soul. How are you feeling today? How present are you within you? Remember, this is about you, not about what you're seeing me do. Be present in how it feels in your body, always working in the range of motion that is comfortable and pain-free. And also remember creating that resistance as you move, so you're not just throwing yourself around. Be conscious of how you're moving. I like to visualize I'm moving through water. So you can just focus on your breath. Feel the rise and the fall of the belly as you move your hands. As you focus more on your breath, begin to resituate your spine. Can you settle into your neutral? Remember, a little check is, are your ribs and your hip points and your pubic bone on the same plane? There should be a soft curve to the low back. Begin to release the arms comfortably by your side, that little bit of external rotation. Try not to pull the heads of the shoulders back. Let your hands relax. As you continue to follow the breath, begin to draw the right knee in towards your chest, sliding your hand behind the thigh, give the leg a little bit of support. And if you like, extend your left leg out along the floor. And maintaining the neutral spine. Gently draw the leg in towards your body so you get a little length for the low back. Feel it grazing down towards the floor. Now begin to release your right leg. Right hand up to right knee. And take your time gently guiding the leg open to the right. Come back through center. Left hand will gently guide across the midline. And staying grounded through your core here. Just moving that right femur around the hip joint. Next time you're bringing the leg back into the midline. Create nice resistance of your right leg into your right hand, and then begin to gently stir little circles around the hip joint, creating that resistance. You should start to feel your core zipping up a little bit here. Remember, at any point as you're moving through class today, get more grounded by bringing that left foot back to the floor with the knee bent, or even taking a break. Now stir the circle the other direction. Bring the leg back to center. Slide your hand behind the thigh again. Let the leg get heavy down into your hand. Relax the foot. Take a couple breaths. And begin to wiggle your toes. Little point pointing and flexing. Some nice circles around the ankle. Going the other direction. Take your time here. Begin to release the right foot back to the floor with the knee bent. Bring the left foot back to the floor with the knee bent. Take a couple moments just noticing any changes in the body. How are you feeling now? And then when you're ready, begin to draw left leg in, slide left hand behind the thigh. If you like, extend the right leg out along the floor, get nice and grounded, feel strong like a mountain. And then gently draw the left leg a little closer into the body as you let your low back lengthen down towards the floor. Continue to breathe into your belly. Now begin to back the left leg up, left hand, left knee. Remember, create some nice resistance here as you gently spiral the left femur around the hip joint. Staying nice and grounded here, just articulating the femur and the hip joint. Change your direction. And then come back to center, gently guide the leg open to the left. Right hand gently draws across the midline. Left leg back to center. Slide your left hand behind the leg. Let the leg relax down into your hand. Take a couple breaths. And then begin to wiggle your toes. A little pointing and flexing. Some circles around the ankle. Changing your direction. Come back through center here. Very mindfully, left foot goes to the floor, bringing right foot back to the floor. Take a couple breaths here as you just gently rock across the pelvis. Again, being aware of how you're feeling. What is your body telling you? And then we're going to start to walk the feet towards the outer edges of the mat. Then we're going to start to softly pinwheel the legs as you roll across the pelvis. Rolling across the feet to create a little more movement. A little easy twist here as you work with the internal rotation of each leg. Gently rolling from side to side. So next time you're moving toward this left, stay to the left. Let the left leg get right leg get heavy towards the floor. Pelvis is softening downward. Try not to push the body away from the mat. Slight lift. And then you can begin to spiral your right arm up towards the top of the mat. Rib shift to the right. Breathing deeply. Take your time, begin to work your way back up. Rolling the legs now to the left. Nice internal rotation as the left leg gets heavy towards the floor. Pelvis heavy towards the floor, ribs moving into the body. If you'd like to add on, begin to spiral your left arm up towards the top of the mat. Ribs gently shifting towards the left side of the mat. Breathing nice and deeply into your belly. Take your time, working your way back to center here. Walking the legs back up. Start to draw the legs back in towards your body. We'll come into bound angles. Begin to walk the inner edges of your feet into each other, outer edges pressing into the floor. Take your time. Let the inner lines of the legs begin to open the legs out to the side. Nice and active as you ground through the feet into each other and gently pressing down into the floor. Again, deep rest into the belly if it helps. Rest your hands on the belly again and breathe into your hands. around the legs. And then very mindfully begin to draw legs in towards your chest. Slide your hands behind the thighs. Let the legs get heavy again. Gently draw legs comfortably in towards your body, relaxing into the feet for a couple breaths. Let your core become quiet as your back draws down towards the floor. So we're going to come into the swimming frog. Remember, this is all about core work here, so strongly resist. Legs to hands, hands to legs. So start to gently back the legs up so you settle into your neutral spine. And bring your hands up to your knees, fingers towards the toes. Nice flex to the feet, resisting legs to hand, hand to leg. And we're going to draw the legs gently down the midline. Open them out to the side, back up and together. Again, resisting down, opening out to the side, drawing up and together. Creating that resistance. Can you feel your core zipping up? Remember, you don't want to be pulling the belly button in, traction the spine towards the floor. You want to work from mountain here, that neutral low back curve. Resisting legs up into the hands. You don't want this all to be in the hip flexors. Now, next time the legs are together, we'll go the opposite direction. So resist open to the side, drawing them down, together, and back up the midline, out to the side and down. Bring them back together, resist them up the midline. Make sure you're breathing here, neutral spine. Whenever you need to, just let the legs release into the body. Let your core become quiet as you take your deep breaths here. Next time you're bringing the legs back in, let the core gently shut down, backs lengthening downward. Come into child's pose. So bring your arms to the inner lines of your legs. Resist your legs up into your arms. And you let the hips open out to the side. Take a few breaths here. We'll come into the lazy frog. So let the legs begin to travel away from your body, opening up across the hip creases. Hands slide somewhere into the knee creases or along your thighs. Feet get a little heavy towards the floor. Keep some resistance of your legs up into your hands as you soften through the shoulders. Make space across the hip creases. Feeling a little deeper stretch across the inner line of the leg, across the groins, the pelvic floor. And then if you'd like, gently pedal your legs. Gently drawing one leg in, one leg out. Spiraling them around the hip joint, just what feels good, a little massage here. Begin to work your way back to center. We're going to keep the right leg drawn in. Left foot goes to the floor with the knee bent, or begin to extend your left leg out along the floor. Now make sure you start to line your right leg up into that chair leg position, nice and active, as you begin to resist the straightening of the right leg. So warming up the leg here, warming up the joints, the muscles, bringing attention to how the hamstrings are feeling. Are they pulling on the low back? Work where you need to. Remember, that left foot can remain on the floor with the knee bent. Next time that leg is towards straight, take your time here. We're going to begin to draw the leg just across the midline, maintain mountain here. Take a couple breaths. You start to feel that stretch down the outer line of the of your right leg. Inhale, leg back up. Now create a little bit of external rotation. Knee and toes face out. Hug thighs towards each other. Begin to draw the leg across the midline. Inhale, leg back up. Now we'll treat a little bit of internal rotation. Knee and toes start to face into the midline, and take your time. Let the outer line of the leg begin to direct the leg across the midline. As you inhale, begin to draw the leg back up. Now we're going to start to open it out to the right. So create a little external rotation, strongly resist as you begin to open the leg out to the right. Again, don't allow your left side of the body to peel away from the floor, a little stronger resistance. Remember, you can do this with a strap today if that'd be better for you. Mindful of the breath. Mindful of what you're feeling here. Are you grounded? Can you breathe? Now as you inhale, draw the leg back up. rotate it back to neutral. So now we'll come into a twist. So hug thighs towards each other, let the outer line of the leg begin to carry the leg across the midline. Make sure you open your arms into a comfortable T. As you continue to hug your thighs towards each other, use your core to gently turn towards the left. Can you maintain the levelness of the pelvis as you line the leg up? Maybe turning your head and looking out past your right fingertips. Now as you inhale, make sure you bring the head back to center. Hug thighs towards each other as you use your core to rotate back onto the spine, and then use that outer line of the leg to carry the leg back up. And then we're going to strengthen the core here. Organize your core. Get active in your mountain. Reach out through the right heel, controlling the descent of the leg to the floor. Maybe you can pause for a couple breaths and then continue the descent. Remember, if it's all hanging in your hip flexors and you've lost your neutral, you're better off not doing this action. It takes time to strengthen into this. Easy, thoughtful movement. Now, once that right leg gets down to the floor, notice how you feel. Take a couple breaths. Does that right leg feel different than the left? Now we'll do a couple recovery breaths as we release the hip flexors and especially the psoas muscles. So let your legs rotate open, soften the feet, maintain the neutral spine as you deepen the breath into the belly. Flex your feet, rotate your legs back to neutral, press down to the right leg as you bring your left foot back to the floor with the knee bent, press to the left foot as you bring your right foot back to the floor with the knee bent. Keep some nice pressure of the feet into the floor, just very softly rock across the pelvis. Deep breaths, can you soften through the belly across the pelvis to the upper thighs. Take a couple more breaths. Begin to release the legs in towards the chest. You can let the core shut down. The hands can go behind the thighs if you'd like. A little gentle rocking. Just notice what release feels good here. You can take the arms and hands away. Back the legs up. Settle into your neutral. Keep the left leg drawn in. As you either place the right foot to the floor with the knee bent or actively extend the right leg out. Organize that left leg. Take your time. Remember, chair leg position. Create some resistance as you begin to straighten and bend the leg. Remember, it's the work of the femur and how it moves to begin to straighten the leg. Keep your awareness on the hamstrings and on your low back. If this is pulling on the hamstrings too much and it's flattening your back, you want to keep this action softer. You can use your strap. Work where your body needs to. Remember, maintain mountain. The more you can maintain mountain, the stronger you become. The stronger the spine muscles, the stronger your core, the better movement you will have. Next time that leg is towards straight, if you're feeling good here, we're going to go 3 times across the midline. So neutral the first time, so take your time. Hug your thighs towards each other as you use the outer line of the leg to carry the leg just across the midline. Maintaining mountain. Inhale, leg back up. Now we'll go to external rotation. Knee and toes face out. Hug thighs towards each other. Outer line carries the leg across the midline. As you inhale, draw the leg back up. Rotate to neutral. Now a little internal rotation. Knee and toes face the midline. Take your time. Let that outer line begin to draw the leg across the midline. Inhale, leg back up. Make sure you're in your mountain. We're going to open to the left, so begin a little external rotation. Hug thighs towards each other. Let the inner line of the leg begin to open the leg out to the left. And stay in mountain. Stay with your breath. Work where you need to today. This one's hard. Slow and controlled. It's not about how far you go. It's how far you can maintain neutral. That's what counts here. Now as you inhale, inner line will carry the leg back up. Rotate it back to neutral. We're going to go into a twist. So hug thighs towards each other. Take your time. Begin to draw the leg just across the midline. And then keep the pelvis stacking as you use your core to rotate towards the right. Maintaining the pelvis in that neutral stack position. Can you line your leg up with the hip joint? Can you breathe into your left side? Now as you inhale, use your core to rotate back onto your spine. Set the neutral. Outer line carries the leg back up. If you'd like to challenge your core, organize your core, reach out through that left heel, take your time, control the descent. If you like, pause for a couple breaths, hold it, breathe, start the descent again. Remember, this is all hip flexors, you've lost neutral. Don't waste your time with this, continue the strengthening, it just takes time, honor your body. Once the leg gets down, maintain your active core as you let both legs rotate open. Soften into your feet, nice deep recovery breaths. Let your hip flexors go. Begin to flex your feet. Rotate your legs back to neutral. Press into the left leg as you bring your right foot back to the floor. Press into the right foot as the left foot comes back to the floor. Keep a little pressure in the feet, very softly rock. Back through center here, we're going to go into bound angles. Begin to draw the inner edges of your feet into each other, outer edges press into the floor. Take your time. Let the inner line of the legs begin to control the opening of the hips out to the side. As you inhale, begin to slowly close the legs, bringing the soles of the feet back to the floor. And now you're going to grab your block. Now make sure you're nice and planted through the feet. I'm going to move down a little bit on my mat. So get active through the legs. And then you're going to take your block, short edges of your block into the palms of your hands, fingertips up towards the ceiling, as you begin to draw the arms straight up over your heart. Get that nice external rotation, feel that nice groundedness of the head of the shoulder, nice and grounded through the shoulder blades. And then take your time. As you exhale, press into the feet, beginning to draw the arms overhead, ribs stay knitting into the body, moving just around the shoulder. Then as you inhale, draw the arms back up. Take your time. Exhale, begin to draw the arms overhead. Hugging into the block, ribs are drawing into the body and down towards your waist. As you inhale, arms back up. Do one more. Exhale, arms overhead, hugging into the block, hugging into the feet, nice and grounded. Now as you inhale, begin to draw the arms back up over the heart. Now I want you to continue to hug into the external rotation of the arms, squeezing into the block, and I want you to begin to draw the shoulder heads away from the floor, spreading the shoulder blades open on the back like you're trying to push the block into the ceiling. And then as you exhale, begin to draw the shoulder heads, shoulder blades back into the floor. Now gently squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. So inhale, reach up, allowing the shoulder blades to spread open and move away from the floor. Exhaling, drawing everything back into the floor, gently squeezing shoulder blades towards each other. It's a very small motion. No tension. If this bothers the shoulders or your neck, you're better off either just making the motion much smaller. You can just stay holding the block over your heart or let the arms rest. Remember, there should never be pain in anything we do during class. Honor yourself. So one last time, reaching up, spreading shoulder blades. Exhaling, shoulder blades come back in. Gently squeeze them towards each other. Softly release, and then you can let the block rest on the belly. We're going to use it again here shortly. So we're going to begin to cross your right arm over the left. Bending the elbows, you can begin to walk the hands up around the shoulders, around the shoulder blades. Remember, we don't want to create any compression here. We're going to stay open through the neck. You can also just kind of fold the elbows into each other, let the hands gently relax on each side. So what feels best for you? Now gently draw the shoulder heads down and away from your neck and ears. Create a little length for the neck. And if it feels good, just very gently twist the upper body. Nice and easy from side to side. Again, no strain here. Are you still with your breath? Now come back through center. We're going to unwind the arms, give a little shake, and now we'll cross left over right. Remember, you can just bend the elbows, hugging them into each other, let the hands relax, or begin to walk the hands around, working towards the shoulder blades, gently releasing the shoulder blades away from your ears, gently drawing them into the floor. Taking a couple breaths into your heart, into the belly. And then if you like, add that little thoracic twist. Legs are steady, just working through the rib cage, massaging the shoulders, a little stretch for the upper arms. Now work your way back to center. Unwind the arms, give them a little shake, and let the arms relax for a couple breaths here. Just beginning to notice how you feel through the upper body. We're going to transition into our reverse table core work. So block is optional. If you don't think you're going to use a block with the arms or with the legs, you can just set it aside, or you can keep it handy on the belly as you start to stack your legs up. So you want to begin to stack up the legs. Knees are directly over the hip joints. Shins are parallel to the ceiling. Imagine you're pressing your feet into the wall. You can keep the arms resting in a comfortable position so you're not straining through the upper body. Or you can begin to draw the arms straight up over the heart. If you want to use the block for a couple breaths here to give you a little bit of resistance. So first stage is just holding the legs up in this reverse table. If you're feeling good here, you can begin to resist that right leg out an inch. Hold it for a couple breaths. Maintain neutral. And then begin to resist the leg back in. And take your time. Exhale, left leg out. Hip extension here. Feel your core zipping up. Right leg should stay stacked where it was. Inhale back in. Switch back to the right side. Exhale out. Hold it for a couple breaths. Resist this. Inhale back in. And then we'll do the left side. Resist left leg out. Draw the leg back in. You can continue to hold the block. I'm going to take the block and set it aside. My arms are going back overhead. And now we're going to do opposites. I'm going to begin to press that right foot out. Left arm starts to go overhead. It's not about the arm going to the floor. It's maintaining neutral. And as you inhale, bring everything back to center. Now exhaling, right arm, left leg. Hold it for a couple breaths. Breathe. Be present. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Right arm, or left arm, right leg. Breathing, stacking. Exhale back in. And we'll do one more. Right arm, left leg. Exhale back to center. Let the arms release. Feet can go back to the floor, or begin to release the legs in towards your chest. Maybe some soft rocking. Let the core become quiet. Feel the work that you just did. Remember, arms are always optional. You can keep them on the floor. Remember, no shoulder strain. Make sure you're breathing through these actions and that you're able to maintain neutral. The more active the legs, you don't want it all into your hip flexors here. So we're going to line the legs up again. Arms are optional. So remember, knees over your hip points, legs parallel to the ceiling, hip distance, feet are active. And then if you'd like to add the arms, we're going to do a little hip extension and heel or toe taps. So now taking your time, you're going to begin to press that right heel down towards the floor. Left arm starts to lift towards the top of the mat. Hold for a couple breaths. Create your resistance. Inhale back to center. Then we're going to do right arm, left leg. Taking your time, exhaling, breathing. Don't force the foot to the floor or the arm. Inhale back to center, and then we're going to do left arm, right leg. Heel down towards the floor. Breathing. Inhale back to center. Right arm, left leg. Take a break whenever you need to. Come back to center. We'll do one more set. Right leg, left arm. Breathe. Neutral mountain. Inhale back to center. Right arm, left leg. Inhale back to center. And then let everything release either in towards the chest, arms rest, or feet can go to the floor. If you'd like, a little lazy frog here. Let those legs move away from the body, getting any tension out of the core, out of the hip flexors. Just some easy movement here. Taking your time, come back to center. Feet back to the floor with the knees bent. Take a couple breaths. We're going to come into low bridge. So we're going to use a block. So place a block, short side facing you, in between the thighs. Make sure you get nice and grounded. Feet pressing into the floor. Have you lined your legs up? Little external rotation of the upper arms, gently squeezing the shoulder heads in towards each other, upper arms into the floor, and then with a little hip extension, press into the feet, keep that hug into the block. As you inhale, lifting the pelvis away from the floor. Can you maintain neutral? Squeezing firmly into the block. Feel your outer line of your legs, your glutes, your hamstrings start to work, even gently traction your heels in towards your bottom. Breathing here. Now take your time. Exhale, release down. Inhale up, hip extension, squeezing into the block, grounded with the earth. Exhale down. Inhale, hip extension, press into the feet. Hugging firmly into the block. Feel your hamstrings, your outer lines of your legs, your glutes start to engage. If this bothers your low back, something's not right. So come out. You probably need to take a break. One more time. Inhale up. Take your time. Exhale down. Then you can take the block away. Come back into the bound ankle. So inner edges of your feet into each other, outer edges pressing into the floor. Take a couple breaths. Feeling grounded with the earth. Active feet, active legs. Nice easy stretch, nice neutral spine. Find your breath. Close the legs, soles of the feet come back to the floor. Just take a few breaths, noticing how you feel. Now to finish up today, we're going to do an easy cross-leg twist to kind of open up through the hip flexors here. So we're going to start by pressing the left foot so we can externally rotate right leg, crossing the ankle over the thigh. So we're going to twist to the left so we can open up the right side. So let the arms open where it's comfortable for you. And then you let that left leg continue to walk towards the left. Maintain your cross-leg position as you begin to roll across the pelvis. The foot may go to the floor, it may not. You can always slide your block underneath, so start to breathe into the right side body. There should be no strain on either knee. Continue to hug your thighs softly towards each other, resisting that right hip open. Let that right side of the pelvis get heavy towards the floor. Deep breaths. Now, if you've relaxed a little bit through this right side, you can gently guide that left right heel a little closer in towards your body and let that hip gently release open maybe a little bit more. Let the right side of the pelvis get heavy into the floor. Can you breathe into your waist? Can you breathe into the hip crease? Breaths. Start to create some resistance of ankle and thigh. Get more active through the left leg as you begin to roll across the pelvis. Coming back to center, take a couple breaths. And then begin to unwind the right leg, give a little shake, and release the foot to the floor with the knee bent. Now we'll twist to the right. So we'll work with the left side of the pelvis and the hip. So when you're ready, press for the right foot, externally rotate the left leg. Crossing ankle over thigh, create that figure four. Take a couple breaths. How do you feel through the outer hip, into your back and your glutes? If you want to come into the twist, remember this is more about hip opening, hip release. Start to walk that right foot a little bit to the right. Roll evenly across the pelvis. Maintain the figure four. Don't force the foot to the floor. Readjust where you need to here. Breathing into the left side of your waist, into the hip crease, outer line of the hip, outer line of the leg. Breathing, relaxing. And if you can't breathe, if the ribs have flared, you've gone into a back bend instead of a hip release. So you want the ribs into the body. Let the pelvis get heavy on that left side towards the floor. If you've released a little bit here, you can gently guide that right heel a little closer in towards your body. Create that resistance. That hip may drop open a little bit more. Can you release into the hip creases? Or that left hip crease, inner thigh, outer thigh, into the glutes, into the pelvis, into your back. Let your breath guide you here. If the breath isn't easy, it's not even, you're not relaxed, something's not right. So back out to the point of the pose that feels good for you here. You can also just do the cross leg. Maybe release legs in towards your chest. Just be present in what feels good. Couple more breaths. Make sure the ribs are knitting into your body, not flaring up, out, and open. Now strongly resist ankle and thigh. Let your right leg help guide the pelvis back to center. Take a moment to resituate. You can unwind that left leg, give a little shake, and then bring your feet to the floor with the knees bent. And then come into constructive rest for a couple breaths as you start to connect into your body to prepare for a few moments of rest. So if it helps, let your knees gently rest on each other, widen the feet, create that little tripod, resting the hands on the belly again. Closing the eyes, softening your eyes into the eye sockets. Releasing tension through the jaw. Let the teeth gently separate, softening through the tongue, the back of the throat. Just notice your breath here. If you're able to breathe and relax, you want to go a little deeper into final relaxation. You can stay here, let the arms begin to open comfortably out to your sides with an external rotation. Start to rotate back in on the legs and start to extend one leg out at a time along the floor. Maintaining your mountain. And then if it feels good for you, let the legs softly rotate open, a little relaxation into the feet. Nice deep breath. Begin to quiet the mind. Just follow your breath. Back body release into the ground, feeling supported. Let the mind just be quiet as it follows your breath. connection to the floor, to the ground that's beneath you. Take a few more breaths. And begin to rotate back in on the legs. Press down to the right leg to bring left foot back to the floor. Press on the left foot to bring your right foot back to the floor. Take a couple moments here, just noticing the sensations in your body. How are you feeling? Are you ready to move on with your day? Take a few more breaths. You can begin to roll to your side. Take a few moments there as you start to stack yourself up. Finding that lying down chair position, making sure you stack the pelvis so you've neutralized the spine, feel strong, working from your center. You can then press your top hand into the floor as you begin to extend your top leg away, gently easing yourself back, finding that nice sitting posture, sitting on whatever you need. Once you find that comfortable sitting posture, make sure you backed your body up. Find that nice aligned spine. Arms are going to rest on the floor by your hips. As you inhale, begin to spiral your arms overhead as you draw energy into the body. As you exhale, spiral your arms down. Inhale, arms up. Bringing your fingertips or palms together as you exhale your hands to your heart center. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.